All right, in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about expressions and combining like terms. All right, so you hear the word term. As you can see in our diagram here, these are terms. 5x squared, or 5x to the power 2, 3x, or negative 5. So you also see these other words, power, which you've already learned about, or exponents. Coefficient, that might be a little new to you. A coefficient is the number in front of a variable. Again, a coefficient is a number in front of a variable. A variable is a mathematical symbol that represents an unknown value. There are some common variables, x, y, z, and sometimes n, but you can use any letter that you would like for a variable. And then a constant is just a number, and that could be any number, whole number, integer, fraction, decimal. The reason it's called a constant, and now this is a negative 5, but negative 5 always equals negative 5. Negative 5 will never equal anything other than negative 5, so it's constantly the same value. Okay, so these are the parts of expressions. So now let's talk about combining like terms. Okay, so when we have combining like terms, let's just say I have negative 6k plus 7k. And now again, to be able to combine like terms, you have to be good at integers. If you're still struggling with integers, I have a video on the website. Please refer to that. But so we have right here negative 6k plus 7k. I have these are like terms. What makes them like terms? It's not the numbers in front of them. It is the variable that they have. They both have a k. So in this, another way of writing this would be negative k minus k minus k minus k 6. Underneath it we could put positive k, positive k, positive k. Now this I have negative 6k's plus positive 7k's. Now obviously the positive and the negative, as you know, they cancel each other out. So I'm left with 1k. Think of it another way. If I had 7k's and you wanted 6 of my k's and I gave them to you, I would be left with 1k left. Or I can write 1k, or I could just write k. All right. So what if I had a problem such as 12r minus 8 minus 12? Again, if I'm trying to combine like terms on this, I'm going to look what terms that I have that are the same. Now, I only have one term that has a variable, meaning I can't combine the 12r with anything else. I cannot combine it with my constants. Why? This has a variable and I don't know what the r represents. But I can combine my two constants, my two numbers to the right. So if I rewrite this, I'm always going to put something, if it has a variable, it goes on the left, so I'm going to write 12r, and then I have negative 8 minus 12. As you guys remember from the integer videos, if they're both negative, you add them up, and your answer is negative. It's kind of like I borrowed $8 one day, I borrowed $12 the next day, now I owe you negative $20. And this would be my answer. I'm going to give you another example. Say I have n minus 10 plus 9n minus 3. Now on this, I'm going to look for my like terms. I'm going to do red for my variables. Those are like terms. I'm going to do yellow for my constants. So I'm going to combine the reds with the reds and the yellows with the yellows. Because again, I can't combine the n or 9n with just the numbers because I don't know what n represents right now. Excuse me. So I have n plus 9n. They're both positive. So I have 1n here and I have 9n there. So that gives me 10n. And then combining my numbers, I have a negative 10 and a negative 3. If they're both negative, I add them up, and so my answer is negative. So this is my answer, 10n minus 13. We're going to do a few examples on this just so we get a good feel for this, because sometimes it can be a little hard to comprehend, a little overwhelming. Once you get it, you're going to find it's relatively easy. Let's say I have negative 2x plus 11 plus 6x. Oh, that's a terrible x. Oops. Keep it 6y minus 2x. Okay. Negative 2x plus 11 plus 6y minus 2x. All right. So what do we have in common here? Now we have some x's. I got x's here. I have x's here. I'm going to do green for my y's and then yellow for my constants. So on this, I have three different things. I have variables with x's, I have variables with y's, and then I just have constants. So I'm going to combine my x's with my x's. I'll do this in black. You get a negative 2x minus 2x. If they're both negative, you add them up. Your answer is negative. I'm going to do my y because it has variables, so I'm going to do that next. Plus 6y because I'm not adding it to anything else. And then only one constant, so it stays there. And that is my answer. All right. From this problem we have right here, let's work on simplifying this expression. Now this one takes in another step besides. Before we combine like terms, I have to simplify this part right here using the distributive property. So I have this negative 2 next to a parentheses. Now this means I'm going to multiply negative 2 times whatever's in the parentheses. Now we have the order of operations. Normally I would add, I would take care of whatever in the parentheses, but I have an x plus a y. I don't know what either the x or the y is, so I can't combine those. So what I'm going to do is call it the distributive property, which means I'm going to multiply negative 2 times x, and get negative 2x, and negative 2 times y. Again, this is called the distributive property. Distributive property. And negative 2 times y is negative 2y, because a positive times a negative is negative. I'm going to rewrite everything I have left, minus 6x plus 4. Once I'm at this point, then I can look at like terms. I have x's and x's, y's, and constants. Answer in black. So I can combine my x's. They're both negative, so that leaves me with negative 8x minus 2y plus 4, and that would be my answer. Again, on this one, a little different. I can use the distributive property to get it to this point. Then I combine like terms, combine x's with x's, and y's with y's, constants with constants, and this is my answer. Okay, now on this one, again, we have the distributive property we have to take care of. Again, in the parentheses, I can't combine 2x minus 3. I don't know what x equals. So I'm going to multiply 6 times whatever's in the parentheses. 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times negative 3, it's a negative because it's a negative sign in front of it, is negative 18. So it's 12x minus 18. I'm going to rewrite whatever I have left, minus 9x plus 7. So now on this one, I have x's and I have constants. Do the answer in yellow. I'm going to combine my x's. 12x minus 9x is 3x, and negative 18 plus 7, so one's positive, one's negative. I'm going to subtract. I get 11. My number with a greater absolute value, the bigger number, is negative. Therefore, my answer is negative, and this is my answer, 3x minus 11. Now, the last thing we're going to go over today is, what if I have 6x plus 6x squared? On this one, I can't actually simplify that. Now, I can combine a 6x plus 6x. That would equal 12x. But on this one, I don't know what the x equals. Now, for example, if it were 1, it wouldn't matter, because 6 times 1 plus 6 times 1 squared. On this one, the ones would be equivalent, because 1 times 6 is 6. 1 squared, order of operations, exponents first, is still 1. This would equal 6. But if I plug in the other number, let's just say I had 3. 6 times 3, and 6 times 3 squared. These are not the same thing. So again, these are definitely, even though they have an x, this has an exponent, this does not. Well, technically it's to the power of 1. Different exponents, so I cannot combine these. So, this has been our lesson on combining like terms and expressions. Hopefully this helped. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me, and good luck.